Summitt Hogue,
How we doing?
welcome back to Trucking On.
Dude, I'm glad to be back.
Dude, you were like episode 3?
You have come a long way since then with this, man. This is awesome.
I know, we were just talking. You came to my old house when the studio was my dining room table.
Yep.
And I just had like the little gear, and I had those Audio-Technica microphone headset combos.
Yeah. The best part of that story is I was showing up to your house to pick up your Peloton that you posted on Instagram for sale. And I wound up on a podcast.
Yeah, I didn't even tell you.
No,
like,
I didn't
until
know.
you got there.
I backed my truck up like, oh, my wife's going to be so pumped when I show up with this Peloton to surprise her. And next thing I know, I'm filming a podcast. It was cool.
I cut you a really good deal on the Peloton, and then you really just helped me skyrocket the podcast from the get-go. So thank you.
Yeah, dude. Thanks for having me on. I'm excited to be back.
I like doing these repeat episodes, and I'm surprised it's taken us this long.
Yeah.
I've circled back around with a handful of people already.
I never know what part of the world you're going to be in. So when I text you or call you, I'm like, I don't know if this, you might be in India, you might be in Costa Rica.
I might be the only person that you can give shit to about this, because I'm sure everyone else in your life says the same thing to you.
I've gotten that a few times.
Yeah.
You're a traveling man. I love it.
Did you download the new Taylor Swift record yesterday?
My wife did.
She did.
And she's over the moon about it, if you can imagine.
You guys know Taylor Swift.
You know, she's a sweet person. She really is. She's very genuine, very kind. She's been awesome to us, man. She's been great.
That's cool. She seems that way. I've always admired her because I've been in the music business.
Oh yeah,
since I was 18 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my first job, really. And I know like and I always loved the business side of the music business. So I managed our band and booked us, negotiated record deals and all that. And as like a businesswoman, she's so savvy, obviously. She's just like legendary. Like probably no one's ever been better at music business that's an artist than her in the history of the world.
She's actually brilliant, dude, with how she'd actually shock you with, she's just a brilliant human, like just in general when it comes to, you know, she bought, we were at her house in London, and she bought an old boys' school, like a wild building, was a school for years, and she renovated this thing all by herself. She was the only, like all of it was her designs, her ideas. And we walked around that place like, this is absolutely stunning. She's just a brilliant mind. I mean, everything you think she's good at music, she's good at everything.
That's so cool. That's not surprising.
She's showing like before and after pictures and videos, and you're like, what that was as a rundown, abandoned boys' school to what it is now is insane.
What is it? What is the purpose? I mean,
it's her house.
It's her. Oh, she lives in it. Oh,
yeah.
She lives in it. Oh,
that's her.
So
that's
cool.
her London house. So she essentially, you know, she bought the. We don't need to talk about Taylor Swift, but she bought the boys' school, and she's renovated that. She's living there while she's building, you know, another house around the corner or something. So it's
Does she live in London?
It's her Europe spot. I mean, she was touring. She basically did it because she's going to be touring all over Europe, and so when we were over there last summer, that's when she was playing Switzerland, Amsterdam.
Have a home to have there.
Yeah, it's
so
like
she's not just
home
in
base
hotels
between shows
all the time. Yeah, that makes sense. I just released a new single on Friday, so
yeah,
I'm thinking through that. Like, should I build a house in Europe for my European tour?
Yeah, there you go.
No one's booked it yet. Maybe you can connect me with her booking agent. I can get on that circuit.
Yeah. Let's see.
Yeah, it should be pretty easy.
Just opened for Taylor Swift with like, what's the girl? Sabrina Carpenter was opening for. She's exploded now too.
She has exploded. Megan Maroney. That's Betty's new favorite.
Oh yeah.
Are you familiar?
Uh-uh.
She's a country singer that's coming up, and I really enjoy her music. And Betty wanted tickets, and so I looked at the tickets. I mean, It's like $400 per ticket for cheap seats.
Oh, wow.
In Dallas, and she's playing like 3 nights in a row. And Betty wants our nanny to go with her, who turned her on to Sabrina, or not Sabrina Carpenter, Megan Maroney. Yeah. But so I'm letting them go. She's like, Dad, I don't want to go with you. I've took her when she was really little to some concerts that I like Willie Nelson.
Yeah.
She called him William Nelson. It's really cute. Then we saw Taylor Swift Eras tour at the movie theater. She didn't she wasn't into Taylor Swift when she actually played here, but then when it came to the movie theaters, she had caught on to her. So we went, and that was when I realized she doesn't want to go to see concerts with her dad. She wants to go with her friends and so that's happening. You're going to be experiencing that soon.
I was about to say, I got 2 daughters and a third on the way. I'm 3 deep.
A third daughter?
Third daughter.
Oh, wow.
Dude. Oh yeah. I got my work cut out for me.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm excited. They're girls are special, man. They're so sweet. They're, daddy's girls. So we have a lot of fun. They love roller coasters. They're not quiet and shy and scared. They're full throttle. Let me climb this, jump on that, and they're not afraid of nothing. So I love that. It's fun.
That doesn't surprise me. Between you and Miranda, you're both you both have that kind of fearlessness about you.
A little bit of a screw loose.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing. So, what should we talk about today other than all of that? Let's talk about real estate first.
Let's do it.
I just did the market report with James yesterday for Q2, and Dallas is crushing the rest of the country.
Yeah.
We have the best market in the country. Dude,
we're definitely spoiled being based in Dallas, working in the industrial space with logistics companies. It's unbelievable.
What percentage of business do you do in Dallas versus the rest of the country?
I'd say probably 25-30% of our business is Dallas. The rest of it's all over the place.
Yep.
The market in general, it has been a tenant rep's dream.
Yeah.
I mean, we are getting deals done that we never thought were possible. Finding landlords that are just ready to just get as aggressive as humanly possible. I mean, I'm doing one in Kansas City right now. We're going to get 15 months of free rent on a 5-year deal at below $4 a foot. It's a good building too. It's not even a.
So are they giving you all that free rent and lowering the rate below what the market rate is?
Oh yeah. We're below $4 a foot net on that space.
Below 4?
Below 4.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. These guys are.
How do they pencil that?
It's just a REIT that's owned the building a long time. They have an extremely low cost basis, and it's been sitting empty for a while. And they go, I just want to get somebody in there so I don't have to worry about that building anymore, because it's not a class A, super great building. It's a perfect building for a 3PL though.
Yeah. And that's your job, to go find those landlords that will cut those margins, or raise the margins, I guess, for your clients.
Find those buildings that'll do those deals. So the 3PLs, that's a direct heavy hit to the bottom line. Right. When your real estate costs are significantly less than the rest of your competitors, that's a huge factor in how profitable you are, obviously. So going and digging into a market and finding those buildings and then getting them to that point where, they're going to have a full building day one. So that's going to be 15 months of pure cash flow. These guys are just over the moon. And then when the lease starts in 15 months, they're below market today.
Yeah.
And everybody in every system, I don't know what you're seeing, but everything that we're seeing is 2026 is supposed to be a rocket ship.
Tides will turn.
Yeah. We're going to think the way you listen to Prologis earnings call, you listen to some of these, everybody's forecasting. Economists at IWLA or SIOR, some of those conferences you go to. It's look, the trade wars we didn't really see coming. And that's thrown huge wrench in how a lot of this stuff is. Like everybody last year was struggling with election year. It's election year. It's election year. Survive to 25. Was kind of what I heard from different operators. And then we get to 2025 and we go through a trade war, which, we kind of knew we were going to get into something, but we didn't realize it was going to impact us this much. And we were going to be throwing tariffs like there's no tomorrow. But I do think, once we get a lot of this stuff ironed out, I mean, Trump's took the gloves off. He's fighting everybody and he's ready to get it to a position where, now we're not just getting taken advantage of by everybody, all of these countries around the world. And I think when we right size that, we make those deals that sort of put us in the driver's seat. We're going to start to see this economy start going gangbusters again. I think 2026 is that year too.
Yeah. I don't see who knows what happens in this world we're living in. Be
right.
The only thing.
That's if World War III doesn't happen to some degree.
Yeah, and natural disasters and all of that. It's kind of like a crazy ass decade that we're in the middle of right now.
Yeah, you look at China. If they go try to take Taiwan, things are going to go nuts, right? And then if Russia doesn't back off of Ukraine, if they team up for something, I mean, dude, who knows, right? If any of those things happen, World War III starts, and I mean, now, who knows what happens after that, right?
Yeah, but in general, if that doesn't happen, I agree with you. I'm surprised how much is under construction in Dallas now. It jumped to the 30 million numbers again. I mean, it's like double than any other market in the country, what we have under construction.
Which is still a little wild to me because
it seems like
our vacancy has been...
It's too aggressive.
Yeah, our vacancy rate's been high enough where like, hey, it's going to take a little bit of time to gobble up 100 million square feet. I mean...
I feel like we should have kept it at around 20 million right now, and that would have probably been healthier.
Yeah.
But this is just kind of good for us as tenant rep brokers.
Yeah.
Go build 35 million more square feet. We
Dude,
have so many vacant buildings out there already.
I love it, man. It's given us just such a killer advantage when we're going into any market, because they're doing this everywhere too. I mean, it's slowed down a lot, but I mean, you have markets like Phoenix. Phoenix is the most overbuilt market in America, in my opinion. We have landlords out there sending us unsolicited proposals left and right, just going, hey, I know you represent 3PLs, check this out.
Yeah.
We'll get super aggressive. Guys in the Inland Empire East, San Bernardino, Redlands, Paris, brokers just out of nowhere sending us an email with a flyer going, I can get over a year of free rent. Just, I'll give you whatever. It's a bloodbath in some of those markets, but you start getting into Inland Empire West, that's started to tick up a little bit. I think you're starting to see a little bit more absorption through there. Phoenix is just toast because
there's parts of Phoenix. Actually, I'm doing a deal in Phoenix right now, and we were looking at. We're looking for like 300, and all the buildings that we were looking at got leased, and then the one that we were negotiating, they're going to sell it to a user, and that happened within a span of a month. And there's also a lot of million square footers circling around Phoenix where potentially if they all were to land, then a lot of their million square footers could be gone. So it's kind of this overnight activity because all of this vacancy can be sucked up by 6 million square foot deals happens all of a sudden. Then it's like, whoa, that knocks down a lot of the vacancy.
Yeah, the vultures start circling when they see a market like that and they go, oh, what kind of deal can I get?
Yeah.
I mean, we've worked a couple deals in Phoenix recently, smaller sizes, but like, I mean, dude, we've had landlords come 30 cents off of what they quoted us to get a deal done, like a month, which is pretty ridiculous how far that came down.
Dallas rents have been holding pretty steady, as a market, just like according to the statistics. Of course, there are landlords out there that will do deals.
Right.
That have the low cost basis or that are just positioned in that way. But a lot of the big institutional players are just sitting there holding rates.
Yeah, I've seen that a lot. You talk to listing brokers. I had one tell me yesterday, hey, you better tell your client he better make a move pretty quick. There's 11 deals recently got inked in our area, that are all pointing to, the rates being around here. And I talked to him. I said, well, one of those deals that got done, I did, and it was at $8 gross. So what you're quoting me and one of those 11 deals that got done,
doesn't line up.
He's like, where was that deal? Who was that with? I was like, well, I had to sign an NDA, so I can't even share anything about who it was or where it was. I can just tell you it was in that area, and it was $8 gross. And we've done a lot of that. Like a lot of landlords have made us sign NDAs because they're like, I can't have you tell the market that this got done. Those are out there. There's plenty of those.
Yeah.
Across the country too. So I mean, if you're out there really turning over the stones and looking, you can find those kinds of deals and just lock them. I tell these guys, lock them up as long as you can. I mean, dude, if you can do a 10-year deal right now, do it.
Do it. Yeah. So many other markets are not getting back into the development business either. They're just sitting there, and the developers are sitting on the sidelines.
Yeah.
And that's going to snap back fast if the market turns like you're saying you think it will.
Yeah.
I think it will too. But the numbers in Dallas are like pre-COVID numbers, and that feels solid.
Yeah.
And I think if we just stay,
feels stable. Feels like, okay,
if we
know
can
what
just
we're going to get.
Be stable, then I think that's a good thing. These peaks and valleys are no good for anybody.
Yeah, dude, the COVID demand created this sort of false sense of like, oh yeah, here we go. And then it came back, just snapped down. And then now it just feels like it's kind of leveling out a little bit. And then I think once we get past the trade wars, it's going to start trickling back up. We get back on that normal curve where it's just the normal trend where it's just slowly, right? And we can just, you can build and vacancy goes up a little, you just kind of keep on that curve instead of these crazy swings where all of a sudden rents they want to do 1 year, 2 year, 3 year deals because they want to sell the building and capitalize on, 30% market growth. Like, all right, let's just get back to more of a stable market where everybody can forecast and make real decisions.
3.5% bumps,
Yeah.
3% bumps.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what happens. What's the most exciting deal that you've worked on in your career?
Oh man. Definitely the Barrett deal here in Dallas was the most exciting.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
You got that done in 2024?
Yeah, last year.
Yeah.
And it's what's crazy. We have been in a crazy battle for the last 12, 18 months. Just holding the landlord's feet to the fire on things, and but withholding the CDM, and I don't know if you've signed commission agreements where like everything is tied to like you have to get an executed CDM before it's paid. But like we weren't signing the CDM because we're like, look, you have to do these things, landlord. These are the things that you've got to go. We're going to put this in the document that you're holding your feet to the fire for these things. And they were fighting about
the CDM, like the release of TIs or something?
No, just commencement date memorandum.
Oh, commencement date memorandum.
Just the simple like, okay. Hey, I'm signing this acknowledging that the lease is commenced.
But like signing off on the TIs
right,
and
like everything is done.
It's in good
You're telling the
order.
bank and you're telling everybody like, hey, the landlord's obligations are fulfilled, but they weren't, so we wouldn't sign it. So we're fighting. We signed it on August 8th. So we just now agreed. Everybody agreed. We got everything lined up. We got everything done. So it took almost 16 months to like hammer that out.
Was it complex TI that was holding it up, or
it was a lot of factors. I mean, the landlord had like full turnover of the team that originally did the deal versus who was. So like there was a lot of stuff lost in the sauce from there. But we got it figured out. We got totally covered. They did the right thing. Everybody's in good shape, and everybody did what they were supposed to do. It just drug out. So we just got that signed on August 8th, and we just now got paid.
Yeah. You like chase that
today.
Client. You chase that client like for a long time, right?
Yeah. It took me. That's one of my favorite stories because I I couldn't afford IWLA to go to that conference. So I flew to Savannah and I was just working the lobby.
We hung out there.
Yeah. That's where me and you connected while I was out there. And you were in the conference and I was just working the lobby.
Yeah.
I tried to help meet Arthur Barrett and I helped him put his bags in his car because I'm trying to talk to him from his LinkedIn photo. And he tries to tip me. I'm like, whoa, I'm not with the, I promise I'm with the conference too. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. So it started from there, back in 2018. And then fast forward to, I've flown up there a bunch of times. I've brought them a ton of business. I've done all kinds of things for these guys. They finally gave me the chance in 2024. And that's why that one's just such a special one, because it was just a consistent, year over year over year fighting to win that business and get a chance. And now, as Barrett, as they're working on anything and they're looking at their future, like I'm a big part of those conversations now. So it's a lot of fun. It took a lot of time, but we finally got a good thing going.
It's kind of fun when you don't get paid on a deal for 16 months, because then all of a sudden you get like that money now. I kind of like it when things get drug out like that a little bit, as long as I'm getting paid.
Yeah.
I can wait.
I've had quite a few
sandbag it a year.
Right. Which it was kind of nice to spread it out. But then you look at like, okay, I've had somewhere, dude, I did a deal in LA, put the guy in a home run deal. We got 9 months free on a 5-year deal and like killer setup. But somebody walked in this guy's front door, another broker, and brought him a building down the street and go, hey, look, this is also a really good deal. And he goes, oh man, I got to jump on this too. Like out of nowhere, calls me. He goes, hey, I just signed another lease on another building too. So I got 2 buildings now. So I got this contract I'm about to sign. I go, you signed a lease and you don't have the contract? He's like, yeah, I'm going to get it though. I'm like, well, 1, you used another broker. That's not cool. But 2, you did it when I would have told you that's insane to do. And then I got you 9 months free on this deal. This is a home run. And long story short, rents starts hitting on the other building. He didn't get the customer, and he was taking all the profits from the free rent to pay the other building. And now he's going bankrupt, and they never paid a fee. So the fee that was in my AR for over a year and a half is now officially not going to be paid because he's being evicted. So, we have some of those stories too. So that's not fun, but that's been kind of it's also been a challenge between 24 and 25, man. I mean, if you're making it through that as a warehousing company, good for you, man. Because there's a lot of guys that are not going to make it through the 24 and 25.
It's like 23, the hammer came down on them, right? Yeah. Like really, I mean,
it started
when the interest rates happened in 22. Was that 22? I have COVID fog on what happened the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Like when did all this happen?
Yeah.
But yeah, like 23 and 24 were big grind years for us, where so much indecision, rethinking processes for how real estate decisions are getting made. And then all this oversupply. And during that year, you saved my ass with the most exciting deal of my life.
Oh yeah.
Which is 901 Distribution Drive.
Oh yeah, baby.
E-shipping, baby.
Yep.
My favorite client of yours. And man, and we cut you a nice deal.
Look, because you did the only reason you got that is because you guys said, hey, you called me and said, hey, we will play ball. Because we were the first or second. We were the second tenant.
You were the second tenant. You filled up the building.
But we stabilized it. Okay.
You took it to 100%.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, we had a lower land basis than most of our competitors. We had better financing than most of our competitors. And it was locked in. And we could choose to wait it out and charge what the market was charging for warehouse space, or we could charge what hits our pro forma anyway, and we perform and not be greedy.
Right.
And we didn't lose money on it, but you guys way undercut the market because of that.
Yeah.
And I've read this Trammell Crow document, like a partner from Trammell Crow in like the 90s when there was a big recession, wrote this letter to all the the employees about like lessons learned from the recession. And one of them is like, when the market's going down, like don't sit and wait for it to come back up, because you're going to be left with a vacant building. So like lose your ego, go chase deals for occupancy, because when you feel this market's going down, like you're going to want occupancy, because it's not just, sometimes it's not going to just pop back up like you're expecting it to. And I read that, and like we all talked about it and said, we've got to go cut deals right now. And we're in a position where we could do that. So appreciate that.
Well, it worked out for us because e-shipping is pumped. That building is great for them. They've got great customers in there. And they're in good shape.
I want to do another development deal. I love designing the building, and we counted all the dock doors. We had to build a front load building, but we wanted to have like the most dock doors and trailer parks of any front load building in DFW, per square foot, and figure out how to do that and lay it out.
Yeah. And
I loved thinking through all that stuff. So glad to hear they're happy there. I owe you multiple dinners for, the foreseeable future. If Taylor's in town and you guys want to go to Bob's, I got you.
Best carrots in town.
Come by.
I'll sell her hard on the carrots.
I need
her
her
best.
I need like her, at least kill a Trav on the podcast. You can make this happen.
Dude, he's the funniest guy you'll ever be around in your life. I mean, the guy is just,
I feel like I know him
he's
from,
just, I
like,
mean, if you, like I was watching their podcast yesterday. Just the opening of the podcast yesterday. I guess they were sponsored by Reese's, the peanut butter cups. Listening to him break down the Reese's peanut, I was working out, just crying, laughing, because he's just such a funny dude, man. It's a lot of fun.
That's so cool. This podcast is brought to you by Path Water.
I gotta say,
I just invested in Path Water.
This is unbelievable water.
Isn't it good? It's great. This is the alkaline version. They also have some with just electrolytes for taste. Path Water really quenches your thirst.
Big fan.
I want to get a sponsorship from Velo nicotine pouches, so I need to work on that.
That'd be a good one to get next.
Have you done any nicotine 3PL deals for nicotine pouches?
I have chased some, but we haven't gotten any done. There's a new company called Joey's. You ever heard of Joey's?
No.
So he's playing on the fact that, like, I guess at bars or in college towns or whatever, like people just like take a Zyn out or a pouch out and just throw it on the wall. I don't know why they do this. I've never seen this, but he's like, yeah, they throw them on the wall and you can't tell what brand is what because they're just all white pouches stuck on the wall. So he's like flavoring them with coloring so that when you throw them on the wall, you can tell, oh, that's a Joey's pouch because it's red. And I was like, I'm not really sure that's gonna work, but maybe it will.
That feels like the opposite of where you want to go. Like,
also,
we're gonna put artificial coloring in these pouches.
Yeah, and also like, because I tried one and I'm like, you're like spitting. It looks like you're spitting blood.
No,
I was like, dude, this is.
I don't understand it.
No,
this is
not a competitive advantage.
People throw them at the wall.
Yeah, I guess like if you threw it on the wall, it would stick on the wall.
On the ceiling?
Yeah, just throw it on the ceiling. Oh, well, maybe not the Velos. Well, you also jumped it up. You gotta throw it like. Not that I've done it.
Oh man, one of my high school friends just sent me a video of it, and they did a documentary when we were in high school, and we were all like sitting at a coffee shop. This is the 90s, before we knew smoking was bad for you.
Yeah. And
we were smoking cigarettes, and one of the guys was like, who definitely smoked, it's like, you can't prove that I smoke cigarettes in the video. And it was very funny because, and like, we're all sitting there in high school and just got to see me and all my high school friends in a documentary for an hour, just totally talking shit. It's so awesome. But you're reminding me of my friend who said that, he goes, you can't prove that I smoke. You're like, I've never thrown the pouch on the wall before.
Yep.
Yes, you have. Get some red pouches. No, I want less chemicals in my nicotine
Right.
pouches.
And then on top of that, like you look at the pouch and like the Zen pouches, you look at them and like you can't, it just looks like a little pillow. You're like, okay, this is a nice little lip pillow. You look at this one and it's like a clear pouch. So like you see all of the chemicals in
Really?
it. And you're like, do I really want to put that in my mouth? Like, I don't know about that.
I just want a little pillow.
It's like little beads of nicotine and then little red beads of dye. And I was like, this is just not the move for me. I just, I don't think this is going to work. So we didn't do that deal. We did not give that any more attention.
I'm going to give you a hot tip.
Okay.
If this comes through, I think we should chase it together.
Okay.
Unless you're already calling on them. It's an e-commerce company called NicoKick.
Never heard of them.
NicoKick.com. And I've been ordering because I don't like to go to gas stations really.
Yeah.
I
feel like you're going to get mugged or something.
I just get bothered by people asking me for shit,
Yeah.
Like I'm filling up my car with gas and somebody's like, "Excuse me, sir." And I'm like, dude, get the fuck away from me, man. Like I just don't really like going to gas stations. I've got a hybrid, so I can drive around Dallas for most of what I do, unless I'm going on a road trip.
Yeah.
And if you're on a road trip, you just go to Buc-ee's or something and it's good. But yeah, some of these Dallas gas stations, like I feel like I'm just getting accosted every time I go there. It's not like really scary. It's more like annoying.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, why don't you tell these people to leave your customers alone out here?
Yeah.
But whatever. So I go to NicoKick.com.
NicoKick.com.
They must have a big warehouse somewhere. So
so here's how we figured that out. Order from, where's your box? Look at the return label from NicoKick and look it up on CoStar. That tell you if it's their own building or they use a 3PL.
yeah, I would think they are the 3PL. But
for all of the nicotine brands.
yeah, that's what I think. So we'll have to look into it. It would be fun to chase together.
That would be fun.
Or you can just go do it and, throw me a finder's fee for giving you the idea.
I would love to do it with you, Ward.
Let's do it.
And everybody in my office would also love to have NicoKick as a customer.
Yeah, we'll go to the grand opening. That would be fun. What else is going on? So one thing, I can't remember if we talked about this in the last podcast, but I think about it a lot. The turning point in my life. We're moving on to spirituality now.
I love it.
We had lunch because I was talking to you when you were leaving Rubicon
Right.
about joining my team.
Right.
And we were sitting down at lunch and we wound up not deciding. I think we both talked it through and like we did dinner with you and Miranda and our team and everything. And I think the decision, at least in my mind, was like, dude, you are like the CEO, like you're going to go do your own thing. And that's what you wound up doing. Like
which is you too, right? Like it's two, can't have two of the same, right?
We're very similar personality types.
Right.
And I don't know that works well for like back then too. And you were just like young then too. And I was like, you're going to come on the team, but you're going to be like telling me what to do. And that's going to annoy me.
That or like maybe be here for a couple of years and then you're going to go do something else. So we both were like, you know what? That's my goal. So I'm going to be honest, like that is my goal. I want to be the leader. I don't want to be a follower. Like I don't want to be just on a team. Like I want to be the leader. So
right.
That's why we decided to do it that way, which it worked out. It's been great. And I love still working alongside you.
And yeah. And we've kept the friendship like strong, share information. We don't call on each other's active clients,
right?
But we're aware. And like if one drops off, like one recently did, then you called me and said, hey, why are they giving the sublease to JLL? And I said, man, they're yours. Go for them. So, but that line of communication among competitors, I think it's rare and it's really cool. So I value that.
Same here.
And that goes back to your values. And when we had lunch at Buzz Brews, which is no longer there,
I drove by that the other day and I thought, man, that's the Buzz Brews that me and Ward met at.
Yeah, I used to go there all the time. And you prayed and it made me feel, when we had breakfast, you like prayed before the food got there, and I felt really uncomfortable. I was like, I didn't realize like what a godless kind of existence I was living at that time. And when would that have been? 2018?
Yeah. No. Yeah.
19?
2018. It was 18, 19, because 19 is when I really had the exit from Rubicon. 1920.
If you had asked me if I believed in God then, I would say yes. Am I a Christian? Yes. I would have checked those boxes. But when you prayed, it hit me like a ton of bricks. It's like God came down and he's like, Ward, you are not spiritually sound. And it made my skin crawl, and it was just weird. And that really like began, and I mean, that wasn't the only thing, but it was just one of these things. Cause when you're in that spot, I think everybody gets there from time to time, when you lose sight of what's the really important thing. Right. And you're doing all of these other things and you're worried about it. And I was so in that at that stage that just kind of shook me, and I appreciate that. And you set up like a meeting with a preacher guy that you were friends with. You introduced me to him, and my marriage was struggling. That was about a year before I wound up getting divorced. And that just like puts you through it, of course.
Yeah.
And I met with that guy, and he wasn't the guy for me. Like, I met with him, and I'm into meditation, and I read like Buddhist literature too, even though I'm a Christian. He's like, the Buddha's meditating and you can't be doing any of that shit. I was like, dude, like, you can, and you can do both, like, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But he was a little too straight edge for me. But it like kind of began this like journey where now it's become such a huge part of my life. So thank you for that.
Yeah, man.
How did you get into all of your spirituality to the point where you were praying at breakfast? Do you still pray at breakfast?
Yeah. So, I mean, honestly, dude, I was raised in West Texas. I was raised on a farm, going to church every Sunday. So I'm very blessed that that's how my parents, and it was a fight too, obviously. Like, growing up, you're like, God, do I have to go? They made me go every Sunday. I think there's a point in every Christian's life where you run away a little bit, just because you were raised one way doesn't mean that that was me, at least. Like, I was like the kid that, I knew I was didn't stick. Like, I was raised in the church, but when I went to college, like, I just decided I'm going to go see what the world is all about, right? And my dad would always say things like, we raise you, so that you know where the lighthouse is, so that when you do get out away in a storm and things get tough, because it will, it's life, you know where to turn back, right? You know where that lighthouse is. And so as I was, off out into the storm, God just grabbed my attention and pulled me right back and said, look, and I knew where to look, because that's how my parents raised me, right? The biggest blessing in the world. But yeah, I was sort of in this phase too, where I'm trying to wake up every morning and make myself better. I know where I want to get, and I know what I want to accomplish, and I want to be the best version of myself day in and day out. Right. So, that's kind of one of those things where, like, look, I know that if I'm not, in touch with the Holy Spirit, if I'm not in the Word, or if I'm not, having that relationship with God, then I can't be the best version of myself. I just become too worldly, if you will. Right?
Yeah.
And, so it's very important to me to like keep a strong pulse on that. And I'm not perfect either, man. I get, there's a million different things, right? That you sit there and you're like, I have meals I didn't pray for. I have tons of things that I've done. I go, man, I've gotten too far from the lighthouse. I got to turn back. Right. And, but just knowing that, like, I know where to look, and I know if I do get caught up because of some world, I get caught up in the world again, I know where to turn back. I know where to go. Right.
Yeah, man, that's amazing. To think about it that way, to be raised in that way, it's just pure wisdom. Yeah, because we all fall off track.
Everybody
I
does,
think
man.
when you have that consciousness about the lighthouse being there, though, then I mean, God lets you know when you're off track
Right.
pretty quickly. Like, I feel like it's one little thing and then maybe something a little bigger, like, oh, you're not listening yet. Like, how about this? How about this? How about this? And then that, I mean, for me, many of times it's required getting like hit over the back of the head by a spiritual 2x4.
Well, you ever go to church and you missed a couple Sundays because you were traveling. You go to church and the pastor is just absolutely hitting the nail on the head, right? I never leave church that I think, man, I wish I didn't go. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like every time I go, I'm like, man, it was a battle to get up, get the kids ready, get there. You know, it's a challenge to do those things, right? But like, I've never left wishing I didn't go. I always leave feeling like, man, I feel like I'm in such a better place. Or the pastor just, you know, he really hit something that was, you know, directed. Almost felt like it was directed right at me today.
Yeah.
But look, our business is tough too. Like our business is tough because you can, as you start seeing success and success and success, and you start to think, if you catch yourself starting to think, I did that, I, you know, created this or that, I put all of these pieces of the puzzle to make that deal happen. You start feeling that like that's the devil in your head, like making you feel like it was you. And you can start getting into this world of like, you know, like you think that you put those things together, right? And that's a super, super slippery slope. That's a dangerous path.
Yeah.
And so, you know, and our business is hard because you fight and claw and work so hard day in and day out. You're getting creative doing this and that, you know, and it's easy to get into a position where you feel like, whoa, you know, yeah, it took 8 years to get Arthur Barrett's business, you know, but if I take for a second and think, you know, I did that, you know, that's a slippery slope, right? You gotta go look back and go, you know what? God has blessed me with the ability to get creative and think through ways to make things like this happen. He blessed me with this business. He blessed me with the people around me. And I am just a steward of the money that God is blessing me with. It's not my money. I didn't create all of these things. God is just using me to create something, and he's using me to go, you know, do something with it and not blow it, right? So it's also a lot on your shoulders as a leader going, okay, you know, this is you know, God is trusting you to do the right thing with the blessings that he's given you. And you know, that can feel like a lot on your shoulders too. But especially if you're, you know, if you start to get away from the lighthouse, right, then it starts to feel like it's just an insane amount of pressure. But every time I feel like I'm getting away and I feel an insane amount of pressure, you know, I know where to look back and go, okay, God, you're right. You're the captain of this ship, not me.
Yeah.
You're the captain. I took control for a little bit. I got to step back, and that's where the song "Jesus Take the Wheel," like that's legit. Like you really have to close your eyes and pray for God to just, Jesus, take the wheel here. I grabbed it. I'm sorry, I grabbed it. I couldn't help myself. I grabbed it, and I took control. And now I got us out here on the rocks. Like get me back.
Yeah. I don't drink, and I did start drinking again for a year, and it wasn't crazy. I mean, we've had drinks together during that year. Nothing crazy. Like it wasn't like how I used to drink before you even knew me. And even that wasn't that crazy. I was just like a hard drinking, hard partying guy. But when I had quit, I'd gotten just like formed these good habits and just trying my best, reading self-help books, doing all this. And then basically like 2021 rolled through. That was the best year of my career. Kind of the culmination of all of this, like getting spiritually sound stuff, like from that time when we had breakfast together a few years earlier. And then in the spring of 2022, I started drinking again. And I mean, it just started happening really fast, but it's just like, deals started falling apart. Frustration started happening. That's when interest rates, that might be why interest rates happened, is because I started
Get
drinking
Ward's
again.
attention again.
Then our building's getting finished, and there's like 50 million square feet of buildings getting finished at the same time, and these deals are just falling apart. Like, what is going on here? And then I stopped drinking again, started like praying, read the Bible front to back. Like, what am I going to do? Like, what just happened? Like, how do I go from just like cruising for, I mean, almost like 7 years or something, just like on this upward trajectory, and then just boom. And that's what happened in 2022. And and I'm not thinking about it, like this is happening. And did it happen because of that? I don't know, but it sure seemed like it. And it was like a wake up call that and it only took a year. Before, it was 20 years of living that way, where I was just like constantly dealing with bullshit all the time, got out of it. And then it's like, get back into it. It's like, no, because even when I'm drinking, it's not like I'm going to become a homeless alcoholic or give myself liver failure. I'm not that type of a person that's like drinking a bottle of vodka every day. But I'm not going to be as disciplined in doing these things that are way more important even than the work itself, but just like being a good dad and being a good human, being a good partner to Gina, mother of my children, like being a good son, being less selfish, like all of these little things that for me, I drink to a point where the selfishness level turns up is really what I think happens.
Yeah.
And I'm not being true to myself. And I think like that, and that could just be like my soul coming in and saying like, dude, you need to be living life in this way. And it's kind of like they let you know, God, whoever it is, like, but it'll come down. You got to get that wake up call. Thanks for sharing all that.
Yeah, man.
I think it's important. How big's the company now?
We've got 9. So we've got 9 guys that are in there in the trenches, man. It's fun. I'm trying to get to 12. I got 2 open offices right now and 1 open spot in the bullpen. So we get to 12. We're working on building some really cool stuff, some features and some things that are going to be very tangible and very very useful for our clients and what we do, like a tech platform, if you will.
Okay. Like 3PL matching type stuff, or
it's going to be, that'll be a piece of it. It's going to be significantly more than that. But it's just going to be, it'll be a really, really, really unique system that nobody else has. It's just kind of proprietary to Grow clients and what Grow's doing.
Yeah.
And I think when we get that polished and into the market, that's gonna send things. That's gonna be a little bit of a rocket ship.
That's exciting.
Yeah, that's we're finally to a place now where we've got just a killer group of guys. I mean, that's been the hardest part of this whole endeavor, right? This business in general is just finding the right people, the right guys that have the same core values. You've been one of these guys in my life that's always driven into like the importance of core values, right? And that's really stuck with me as I've been molding myself into becoming a leader, which I still have a long way to go, right? You can always be better. I'm still trying to make myself better. I'm trying to learn. And one of those things is, hiring and firing, right? And having the right team. And I learned a lot of lessons along the way. But it is insanely important. Culture is insanely important, right? Like if you have a great strategy, but you got a bad culture, you have a gun with no bullets.
Yeah.
So, I think the strategy that we have is very different. It's unique, and it works. But but I had a bad culture for a little while, and I saw the effect of that was wild.
Like overnight.
Just like I looked up, and this is one of those moments where God is grabbing your attention, going like, "Hey, man, you think you built this? Let me show you a lesson here."
Can you give me an example of do you have your core values? Like, do you have like actual core values?
Yeah. I'll have to pull, I should know them by heart. I do know most of them. But one of the main ones was, like attitude is everything, right? So if you don't have you got to have a good attitude.
Yeah.
Positive
PMA.
attitude. Yeah. Positive attitude, man. Like that's one of the biggest ones. And I call
that is so important. Positive mental attitude.
Right.
Like somebody that's like a drag about everything and a cynic, that energy is tough to be around.
Yeah. And another one I call it heart work, HART work. It's just kind of a hybrid of like hard work and heart work. Like you got to put your heart into this. Like you got to really believe in what you're doing, and you got to have the right heart about it. You got to have a positive attitude when you're approaching every day, because you're going to get kicked in the teeth.
Yeah.
That's just what this business, that's just commercial real estate in general. You got to be able to see the glass half full and figure out how to keep a positive attitude. You got to work hard at it, and you got to have your heart in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, fully relying on God is one of them too. It's just frog. It's one of them is like, look, if that's the only way we've been able to make it this far.
Yeah.
It's a huge, like we talked about, right? It's a huge piece of our life. And I think it's wildly important, but, those are the three main.
It's funny that you
values.
Just said that, because another thing that I remember from our breakfast is like, I don't know if I would feel comfortable having someone on our team that prays at meals. That was me then.
Yeah. I remember you saying that later.
Yeah. And I'm not one to pray at meals, but I am one now to talk about God all the time. So it's like, how did this happen? It's a miracle, actually. So
dude, I love it, man.
But I totally forgot about that until you just said that. And like, yeah, that was like something I talked to my business coach about. Like, I don't know about involving religion into work. And I'm not even really religious. I'm more of a spiritual person, but becoming a spiritual person, which I was not back then, I mean, it's like an openness and humility about however anyone approaches their own spirituality. And it's like, that's become sacred to me and super important. And back then it made me really uncomfortable. And I think this world right now, like, is really uncomfortable with spirituality and with God. Like, I think there's a lot of distance between God and the world. And I think that's kind of at the base of all the problems. It's not just religion, but it's just like that, not having that relationship. Like, how many people out there, if you picked 1 million people off the planet and you prayed at lunch in front of them, like how many people of them might feel uncomfortable like me? And I bet it would be a lot of them, like how I did back then. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I was talking to one of the guys in my office a couple of days ago, and he goes, dude, this craziest, like, a wild thing happened to me. He's like, I was in the sauna, and it was just beating me up, right? I'm just like I got to get out of here. So he gets out, and there was another guy that was in the sauna 3 times as long as he was. Like he's he goes and gets in the cold tub and then changes, and then like he comes back and he sees the guy come out of the sauna. He's like, how in the world did you stay in there that long? And the guy goes, Jesus, bro. And he looked at him like, okay, yeah, cool. He's like, you ever read John 3? Like, dude. I mean, but the guy just starts like diving right into the gospel right there, just like coming out of the sauna. And I was sitting there like, or he's telling me this story. I'm like, dude, that's just powerful. Good for that guy, man. Like, he just comes right out slinging. Like, how'd you do that? And he's like, dude, Jesus, man.
See how long you can stay in the cold plunge.
Yeah. No, I remember thinking like, man, that was that made me go, man, that like challenged me to go, man, when's the last time I shared my faith with somebody? It's been a while. You know what I mean? So now I'm like, you know what? I want to be such, in the army of the Lord so much that I'm not afraid to just like jump right into that coming out of the sauna and just share my faith with somebody. If, like let God use me in that way,
Yeah. It felt real uncomfortable for me at first when I took that step on this show. And I don't really remember. I think I do. It was my second year of doing this with my friend John, and we got into it because he had just been through a really tough time and he denounced God.
Really?
Verbally. And I was like, bro, trust me, don't do that. This is right after I got through all my little year of turmoil. Like, dude, don't do that. And then we talked about it and it's like, oh my God, I guess we're doing that. I guess I'm talking about God now on this podcast. And that was in November of 2023. And then now I just do it all the time. And I mean, I have this platform, which is amazing to be able to talk about this kind of stuff because it just is important. And I don't go to a church. Like I'm not promoting anything other than like choosing peace over chaos. And I've found through extensive research and experiential learning that there's one way to truly do that. And I tried everything else.
Didn't you go to Shoreline for a little bit?
Yeah. It got too big when it moved to the new church. Mm-hmm. It's just too big for me. I grew up going to Northridge Presbyterian. I was raised like you. I was forced to go to church every Sunday and I did youth group and choir and everything. And I enjoyed it. My Sunday school teacher from high school just set me up on a date.
Wow.
A good one. But he's trying to get me to come back over there too. And my parents still go there. So my daughter went with them. And so I'm thinking about going back there. But at my I go to church every morning when I wake up, like I'm reading spiritual texts. I meditate and pray for 45 minutes minimum before I get my day going. And then I talk about it on this podcast all the time. So I kind of have my own little makeshift church that really works for me. But I did enjoy going a few months ago. But yeah, that church is, and I think you told me this too when I was first starting to get it back into all this, is like, that's nice, but that's not it either,
Right.
Like, and there's lots of people who don't like going to church. I personally, like, not my favorite thing to do. I don't like hate it or anything, but going and sitting in there, and I've never found Shoreline City. He's a good preacher, but the like tithing and stuff, like it got a little much for me. Just my own taste. And I don't know. I go to spirituality retreats and meditation conferences and all of these things. That's how I spend most of my free time on, like, if I'm taking a trip without my kids, I'm going to do something that's spiritual based, but it's kind of my own little way of doing it. So last question, and then we'll wrap this up. Have you ever had a mystical experience?
I'm not totally sure what that means. So I guess
an encounter,
probably not.
I would say like an encounter with God, or like seeing a ghost, or like some crazy coincidence occurred, or something occurred where you're just like,
I have felt like God was speaking to me in times where it was just like those times when I'm off thinking I'm steering the ship and I'm off into the storm on the rocks. Like, yeah, I've gotten to some points where, I felt like I was verbally hearing God, your life is going down the drain if you stay on this path. Like,
really?
I've felt like I was hearing those things. I can't say I've ever felt like I saw a ghost or anything, but I think that, and I think that's why you ask, the Holy Spirit to come into your heart, right? Into your life. God will get your attention. He will talk to you, right? It's not like you're hearing me talk right now, but you will know what he's saying if the Holy Spirit is in your heart, right? When you're going into a worldly thing, you know what I mean? And I feel like I have had that encounter a few times where I felt like God was just grabbing me by the shoulders and being like, listen, if you stay on this path, it's going to be bad. And and it just grabbed my attention and
Turned it around.
turned it around. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Turn back. Just, hey, look over here. And then you see the lighthouse. Like it's how I visualize it, right? Like I've got to get back over there. So how do I do that? I get on my hands and knees and I pray. I open my Bible and I go to church on Sunday. And, you know, praying can be it can be an uncomfortable situation, especially when you're praying over somebody that you're just like straight up asking, like, hey, do you mind if I pray over you real fast? I just feel like I need to pray over you or pray over this situation or something like that. In some of those moments, I have felt like God was like just right there with his hand on both of us. Like I feel like as I'm praying for some of the, like for like this morning with my wife, like we were just chaos around the house. She's pregnant, you know, kids are screaming, you know, she stubbed her toe by slamming the door for whatever reason, you know, just stuff where she's just getting hit to where she just explodes. And so I just wrapped her up and we were just praying over her and just praying like, hey God, like there's a lot of chaos going on right now. Just pray for peace. Like just give us peace right here in this house. I know it's crazy. I know there's a lot going on. But I felt like genuinely through that prayer, like I was sitting there holding her and praying for God to give us peace in that. You know, I feel like God is there in that moment, you know? So when you're asking if I had those experiences, as I'm thinking about it, those experiences come whenever, you know, you just grab somebody and you're praying over them. And then it's in one of those situations where maybe it's uncomfortable. Like that's my wife, that's not uncomfortable, but there's been situations where I've been praying for somebody just that I've felt like, you know, you see somebody crying or whatever, and you're like, you know, let me pray. Like that can be uncomfortable, but you just feeling God move in those moments is, I feel like the closest thing to describing what you're asking.
Yeah. Yeah. If there was like a concrete explanation of it, then it wouldn't be really mystical.
There you go.
And now that you said all that, like that's exactly what happened at Buzz Brews, dude. Like that shook me loose.
That's like calling God into the,
because that had to have been
moment.
Uncomfortable.
It was uncomfortable for me too.
For you to like pray at breakfast with me, and
Yeah.
I was like not the praying kind,
Right.
And that was like one of those moments, and that
Yeah.
was like a super mystical experience for me that I didn't even realize when we were talking about it earlier until right now.
Yeah.
And it was because it changed me.
Yeah.
That's one of the many reasons I love you, brother.
I love you too, man.
So congratulations on all of your success. Thanks for coming, checking out the new studio.
Dude, I love it.
Have to get you back here again in 2026 when things are on fire.
I love it, man. It's going to be big. 26 is going to be big for all of us.
Let's go. Thanks for trucking on. Peace.